Yep.
Okay. So, go ahead. Right. So I'm curious, how was it to record a series part only with audio to let people with their imagination see everything like their own?
It was awesome. The whole process was awesome. I was filming something at the time, so things had to come together. Hey, how you doing? Things had to come together at the last minute for me, and Melanie changed her schedule, and I just literally had to do everything in one day with Melanie Scofano in the room, so it was amazing.
One day.
Did it all in one day, and it was some of the funnest acting I've ever done. I don't consider it different than acting because Mel was there and we were looking right at each other just doing our acting. I was like, oh, this feels like I could be on set because we're just there, and then the only other thing would be do it louder. That was about it. Other than that, it felt totally natural and it was very fun to do.
All right.
You also got to write an episode.
Yeah.
Tell me about writing for Wynonna Earp.
Yeah. So that was a level of stress I don't think I've recovered from. Now it's all out and everybody's happy, so I'm happy. But I was writing literally with Emily's husband together, so I had a great safety net of Emily and Bongo. His name's Brendan, but we call him Bongo, so you should print Bongo. And I was nervous. It's obviously I'm writing a thing, and then I loved our story. I got really excited as we went along, and I'm lucky that I got to write the comic books with Bo Smith, so I had a great mentor there for many years. So I was confident in my storytelling ability, my actual grammar ability. I was a little more nervous about that. But the notes came back pretty great. Everything made sense, and it was just a really fun experience. And then I was just nervous to what Mel was gonna think of the episode more than anybody. I just wanted her opinion, and she was like, "It's great. I fucking loved it." And I was like, "Okay, this is gonna be awesome." So that was it. It was pretty good. Yeah.
What's your favorite part that you got to record from it without spoiling, obviously?
I mean, all of it. It was super fun. There was we're on a train, so some of the just looking at Mel and me pretending to jump and just the stupidity stuff that you're doing in a room when you're doing running in a room or falling, you've got to be and running and jumping and yelling, all that stuff so ridiculous. It's really fun. Yeah.
How do you get inspired to do the reading for the Audible book? What puts you in character?
I get to be Doc Holliday again. It's my favorite thing in the world. We actually found out about Audible before finding out about Vengeance. So the level of excitement of knowing, okay, we're going back to something we love. What a gift. What an absolute gift. I was just so gracious that I get to play this character again. But between us, I always knew we weren't done anyway, and I also know we're not done yet. I know this as a fact. Whether or not it's a fact or not, I know it, and it's going to happen, and it keeps happening, so just keep listening to me, because I seem to be right. I was just very excited to get back in there and do it again. Yeah.
How different is it to be, have you done voice acting before?
I had once, but this was just as different as it wasn't. Like I said, because I had Melanie there in the room, and we just acted together. I just looked at her and talked to Mel like I would, and she gave me back Wynonna shit like she would, and that's what made it just really natural and special. It was really fun. It was really fun, and you got to be bigger, which I loved. Sometimes, especially on TV, you get the note, throw it away, smaller, throw it away. That's maybe a more
vision of a cartoon now.
Which one?
Of your series,
I'd love it. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Because it was fun to go big with Doc. When he's being funny, be big with it. When he's sad, he can be sad. When he's angry, I got to be. It's fun to go big with the emotions. Loved it.
Was there anything that you got to play around with doing the Audible series, playing Doc Holliday, as opposed to when you were doing it in live action?
Well, yes and no, because we'd always wanted to do the train episode, which is why I wrote it, and to go back in the past. All that stuff's really expensive, but it's not expensive if you're just saying it. You know what I mean? But that was also lent itself to another thing, writing something where it wasn't just writing a script, because you have to let the audience know where you are, what you're doing, without saying, "Hey, we're on a train running." but you kind of have to say, hey, we're on a train running, so everybody knows where you are and what's happening. So it was a really interesting style of writing, to be honest. The writing stuff came as more of a learning curve for me than the actual acting. Because like once it's Doc's just he's a part of me. It's like yeah.
What idea was it to approach you with the writing of the episode?
It was Emily Andress, the boss called me and said, is this something you're interested in doing? And I said, yes. She's known from day one, even since season 1, I love this show. And we didn't get all the scripts, and I was at script, I think 4 or 5, when I was already writing my own, what's going to happen, who's going to happen with dolls and this and that. I love the show when it happened. From day one, I'm not a pretender. And I was sending her scripts, and she's like, "Thanks, man." But it wasn't to use it. It's just these are my fan theories. This is what I think. So she knows from day one, and then she knows when I got into the comic book stuff how much I love
Stopped
writing.
her so long.
Yeah, I broke exactly 8 years of chipping away. I finally broke her and got my shot.
Before we get to the next question, can I just get a good picture of you?
Sure.
I tried, but you
He's too excited.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
So, also, can I?
Yeah, of course.
When you write an episode, I'm curious, then you're more a character or more than director of it, knowing that it's your story and you know what's going to happen and how all the persons will act.
Yeah, I never know, and I'm always pleasantly surprised. It was very fun to see something the way that I thought a scene was going to play out, and then when you see somebody else actually perform it, it's so much better than what I could actually put on paper. It's really great. And the other thing is, I don't write too much of the Doc stuff. I liked writing the Wynonna stuff and getting into the brain of there, you know what I mean? I'll just jump inside Wynonna's brain for a while is awesome. And just the fact that Emily's gracious enough to let me get into her world a little bit. These are her characters and her stories, It's very gracious. Same with Mr. Bo Smith. He's done it since forever. That's his character and his world and his comic stuff. And he kind of just said, come on in, TR, and, come on with your crazy stories and yeah.
But you did any rewrites during the shooting of the episode, setting maybe we can do it better. Or
Oh yes, we did many. Oh no, not once we got to actually recording it.
Yeah.
No, but there was many notes along the way before we got to the final product. Yeah, for sure.
Do you have a favorite Wynonna snark that you wrote? A line?
Oh my goodness, it's tough. There was so many. I mean, the Dolly World stuff was mine. There was just so many. I probably we're gonna stop at the Pumpkin Pantry. I put in this thing called the Pumpkin Pantry. I like that as a gas station name. I thought it was very Wynonna fitting. Yeah.
Do you feel like it was challenging to find Doc without a mustache? Because I'm going to assume if you were shooting something else and came in to do audio, you did not grow the stash.
No, I had facial hair, thank goodness. Right now I'm doing Luke Roman, so
right.
no, nothing. But yeah, I had a little bit of facial hair. Listen, as much as the mustache helps, it really helps when Wynonna Earp's in the room with you. So, she was full Wynonna. That helped. That helped a lot.
So that was actually your mustache, or they put this on?
Oh.
You're choosing violence? Yeah, I grow. It takes me 4.5 months, and then I'm stuck with that thing for maybe, then we shoot for 4, it's like a 7-month process, that mustache.
Wow.
Yeah. It's something else. I got married with that mustache. My wife deserves a medal. All our pictures.
Well, you can Photoshop.
Well, it's a great mustache. She married Doc Holliday. What's the problem? I don't see a problem with it.
I'm really interested in foley and the sound effects. Did you get to do any of the sound effects? If you're walking, did they record you walking or?
Yeah, I don't know so much about the actual foliage, but yes, if we were running in space, in place. If we were, I did a lot of squats that day. You're just jumping up and down and trying to get out of breath and yelling and screaming and yeah, you're doing all this stuff. I don't know how much per se they would use Yeah, because if we were on the top of the train, they'd have to foley actual steps and stuff. So yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun to do.
So what would be your ideal episode to write for the audio or
Well, I think a certain cowboy maybe pulled the wool over some people's eyes and maybe faked a certain demise. And maybe he had to do a little switcheroo to make some people think maybe he was gone. And then it turns out he's not. And then he's got Peacemaker. And then he's got another gun called a Hatebringer. And then he just shoots all the demons as they come at him, just like demons don't stop coming. And he just keeps saving the day. And Wynonna's like, damn, that's hot. And he just keeps killing everybody. And then the Way Hot's there, and they're just kissing and in love. And then Varun comes in, Jeremy comes in, and then he gets a gun, and then we're shooting people, and then Nedley shows up, and then Mercedes comes back out of the gun.
you should pitch that.
I want to write that one.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You're right. I think Hatebringer's good. Oh, that Peacemaker, Hatebringer. Oh.
I think the Way Hot, make it on the side.
Yeah. I put that in there.
Thank you.
No, but you said you were writing during even the original series, and I'm curious, are there any ideas in your drawers that you're waiting on them to release them, or?
Yes. I pitched one, thank goodness we didn't use it, that Nedley was actually the devil. Like Satan himself. He had been the devil since season 1. And he was just like pretending to be everybody's friend, and then finally at the end it would come that he was the devil. And of course we'd have to shoot him between the eyes. Greg didn't like that story. He was quite upset. But I liked it. I said, he's the patriarch, guys. What are we doing here? Are we Wynonna Earp or are we not? So I wanted to, tear down the patriarch, but we didn't have time.